Good morning students, welcome to the English class. Today we are going to start with poem number 3 from Flamingo, Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. So let us look something about the poet here, Pablo Neruda. So let us start with Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda is the pen name of Chilean writer Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basalto. He was born on 12th July 1904 in the town of Peral in Chile. In 1920, he became a contributor to the literary journal Selva Astral under the pen name of Pablo Neruda, which he adopted in the memory of Czechoslovak poet Jan Neruda. He wrote in a variety of styles, including surrealist poems and historical epics, overtly political manifestos, a prose autobiography and a collection of love poems, 21 poems and a song of despair. His unique style was recognized in 1971 when he won the Nobel Prize in Literature. His poems are often passionate odes of love and nature. In 1974, his memoir appeared under the title I Confess I Have Lived, which contains the updates to the last days of poet's life. He died in 1973. So, this was about the poet Pablo Neruda. Now, let us start with some introduction about the poem. As we were discussing, this poem is the part of the collection Extravagaria. It is important to keep the poet's history in the mind when reading this poem, Keeping Quiet. Most of the poems that he wrote in his life show the toll that his political activities has taken on him. Keeping Quiet was written in an extremely difficult situation when he had to live underground for 2 years because he had protested against the president. Now, see, as we move further with this poem, this background will help you to understand that how there was a desperate urge in the poem to go for an introspection, which is the theme line of this poem, self introspection, and how you can basically find that self actualization state of your mind. Extravagaria, as you can see here, Keeping Quiet was written and included in a collection of 68 poems that Neruda called Extravagaria in 1974. The main theme of all these poems was the idea of having more peace and silence in one's life, which is exactly what Keeping Quiet is all about. So, this poem, as we can understand from the title also, it gives an idea to us, keeping quiet, that means a person is in search of silence and peace, and which is going to lead him to give some time for the introspection. Keeping Quiet could really be written to anyone and everyone. So, the reader can be anyone and everyone. There is no specific audience for the poem. However, the people that would be able to make the most out of Keeping Quiet would definitely be the people who feel overwhelmed by their busy lives. So, those who are been running over the time and they are being quite busy in their lives, do not find a time to take a pause, those people are the main focus audience for this poem. Now, let us move ahead with a summary and analysis of the poem here. We are going to take up the summary here in a line by line manner Let us start from line 1 to 6. Now, from line 1 to 6, basically the poet says, now we will count to 12. The poem starts with a counting where the poet is saying, let us start to count up till number 12. And we will all keep still. That is what he advocates, that till we count 12, you keep still, you keep quiet. There should be a tranquilizing quietness over there. Here the number 12 is a word that signifies order and completion. In these lines, the poet expects everyone who thrives in this world to observe a moment of stillness and silence. Basically, poet wants us to stop, take a pause within the frame of mind. You should be still and quiet and experience the silence for few moments. The poet involves the reader through the use of word we. So that is how he has taken the participation of the reader also. He requests us to remain silent and for once not communicate with anyone. Also, he expects us to stop all our activities and experience and internalize the tranquility and peace of such a moment. See, when you have taken a pause, when you are still, you are quiet, you can experience, you can understand, you can internalize, you can conceptualize that silence, that tranquility of peace. So that is what exactly the poet wants here. He wants that we should not communicate, we should stop communicating, not even in any language, not even in the body language. So we should shut our communication, we should keep ourselves restricted so that there should not be any communication amongst each of us. Okay. Now, let us move to the few more lines here. The poem is a plea for peace from one who has seen the dire consequences of war and violence. Arms can also mean weapons and moving arms. See here, there is a word arm which is being used here in line 6. That means this word can be representing two aspects, two concepts here. One is the arms can be used as, interpreted as weapons, where the poet wants that the use of weapons should be stopped for some time so that we can understand, we can realize how we and where we are going towards. And similarly, moving arms here is a reminiscent of the stock gestures of a dictator from the recent history. So basically, arms is the forceful impact which a dictator can create on the people, on the population. So he wants that those arms should stop functioning, they should become inactive for some moment of time so that they can realize, they can introspect. The poet pleads with people to undertake a self-analysis before doing anything. Self-analysis, that means analyzing our own acts, own theories, philosophies, the thought process, or whatever the activities we are being indulged in. So that is what is the self-analysis which is being required, and for that self-analysis the poet is pleading us, requesting us to take a pause, to experience that stillness, silence for few moments there at the counting when he is making a count up till 12. A person without awareness in action would spread the same ignorance around. It is a vicious cycle. So vicious cycle means that cycle which cannot be broken, it keeps going again and again, and turn by turn it happens like that. You keep continuing with your activities, you keep yourself busy, and you do not find the time to take a pause in between of those activities. That is what the poet is advocating, to take a pause and take few moments and experience that silence and stillness in the first 6 lines. Now let us move further from line 7 to line 10. Now, in these lines, this moment of complete inactivity would be an extraordinarily memorable and cherished moment. What he is saying is, he is trying to give you, he is trying to advocate that peaceful time which you are going to be inactive will be a very cherished moment. It will be a memorable time which you will experience if you will follow it. There would be no rush and reduced industrial activities, engines. Engine is the word which is being used by the poet here as a metaphor for the industrial activities. So, what he is saying, when you will stop, when you will take a pause, you will be inactive, and what will be the consequences? That you will stop rushing, there will be reduced industrial activities. So, everybody, there will be a peaceful time where people can have a time to analyze themselves. Man would not have to cope with the fast pace of life. That means, the man would not be running around with the day-to-day activities or his busy schedule. This would be a profound moment of bonding and togetherness. Now, this bonding and togetherness was being missing because of his busy schedules, because he was been all the time busy with his day-to-day activities. He was not finding any time to regain that bonding, or he is unable to get associated with all the loved ones and the people who he cares for. So, that togetherness was also been missing. There would be complete relaxation of mind, body and soul. This will be the final consequences, the resultant, if we take a pause for few moments, that we will be able to relax our mind, body and soul. The poet claims that it would be unusual and strange moment. Quite strange, because up till now we are been practicing a very hectic and busy schedules. So, it will be very strange to practice silence and stillness or inactive time period over there. So, all human beings would be united in a calm yet strange and novel experience. So, what that experience would be? Everybody will be experiencing the same feeling, same inactivity, state of inactiveness, stillness and a tranquility, and that is going to unite us in a common manner, and that will make a calmness in the complete human race. Then it will be strange as well as it will be a noble experience. The phrase sudden strangeness has been used to convey the importance of universal peace. Sudden strangeness, all of a sudden everything has gone silent. So, this silence, this sudden and strange thing which has been accepted by the people, by the human beings, is going to be give you the significance of universal peace. All human beings live in the same world. They have never realized this togetherness for so many years, because they have been preoccupied with their own progress. So, up till now, this aspect, this moment of stillness will be very strange, because up till now the human being, the people, they have not experienced this in state of inactivity, or this that we are going to take a pause, everything is going to be silent. So, this particular state of mind has never been experienced by the people. So, that is why up till now they have not found any opportunity to self actualize or to self analyze themselves, because they are been preoccupied, they are been quite busy, always been stuck with one or the other activities for their individual progress. So, that is why from where the poet wants them to withdraw from those activities and to experience a pause and experience a silence at that for a few moments. Okay, now let us move to line 11 and up till line 14. The poet talks in this stanza about a metaphorical concept in these lines, saying that fishermen would not harm marine life. Cold sea denotes coldness of fishermen who do not bother about protection of sea life, and in the moments of inactivity they would not be able to disturb the sea animals. Sea animals are being symbolized here by using whale. Whale is the symbol here for the sea animals, for the marine life. Basically, the fisherman here is a metaphorical concept where he is symbolizing for, he is comparing him to the predators and the poachers who are basically destructing the marine life, the nature, and he is saying that for the time period when everything will be inactive, he will not harm the marine life. So, everything will be protected for some period of time. There will not be any activities of killing or destruction like this. The fishermen could also stand for all types of predators and poachers. The salt gatherers would also stop to look at their calloused hands that hurt due to this activity. Now, he is also talking about salt gatherers. Those people, basically salt gatherers is a symbol of the labor class, that are the proletariats. Proletariat is the class, that is the labor class, who are being oppressed, they are being exploited by the rest of the affluent human class, and they do not find time to take an account of what they are feeling, how painful is their life is. They do not find time to even put or take a treatment for whatever the medical illness or the body is depleting, and all sorts of pain and grief which they are facing. They do not find any time to take an account of those things. So, now the poet is saying that when we will take a pause, when everything will be inactive, these people, this labor class, the salt gatherers, they will be able to look at their hands which are they have been damaged because of gathering salt. So, they too would pause to think about their mindless activities and their effects. The salt gatherers could stand for the proletariats who are oppressed by all. So, these proletariats are the labor class, they are being oppressed and they are being represented here by as salt gatherers. Okay. Now, let us move to the next aspect here, line 15 to line 20. The poet feels that the whole speculation of wars and their destructive qualities would be negated during those moments of silence. Now, this is another phase of human, you can say another side of human being, that we are at war in various ways. So, the poet is addressing that how we are basically destructing the nature, the human race, and because of the indulgence in wars, and there are different wars which we are going ahead with. So, he is saying green wars. Green wars refers to the environment degradation caused by human activities, how we are being affecting the nature, the environment, in which the wars with gases and fires refers to the wars fought with nuclear and bioweapons. So, those wars which we are fighting by using the various weapons and the missile systems and all these things which are basically very destructive in nature. So, he is referring to with the wars with gases and fires. This line is referring to that particular war, whereas green war is referring to the impact which our activity, human activity is making on the nature, on the environment. Man may get satisfaction of being victorious, but ironically, wars leave behind no survivors. This is an irony basically. He is using this poetic device here, that the victory is giving us satisfaction. He is victorious, but then too he had found no survivors behind. There is no one to enjoy that victory of the people who are indulging into the war. Those human beings who wage war would be cleansed of all the murk and the dirt from their mind. So, when we will be inactive, when the wars will stop, there will be silence. These people who are so fond of wars, who are always been indulging in war, will take a pause, will be inactive, and they will also introspect that what exactly is the benefit of indulging in wars if there are no survivors left in such wars who will enjoy the victory which they have gained from the war. So, they would then walk about with other individuals and preach amity, brotherhood and harmony. They would do nothing to harm mankind or nature. So, once they get their minds clean, finally they will realize the significance of brotherhood, they will realize the significance of harmony, and finally they would stop making the harmful impact on mankind and on nature. So, that is what the poet wants here to be done. These lines, the poet talks about wars, war against humanity as well as nature, that we have discussed. The poet says that no victory is achieved without the loss of life, that we understand. We inculcate, we actually incur a lot of casualties, loss of life, loss of wealth when we are indulged into wars. And such a victory that has claimed lives of innocent men is considered useless by the poet. So, he is advocating that these wars are worthless things, worthless activities in which the human beings are indulged just to overpower the another person. So, we should stop all these wars. Hence, the poet wants the soldiers who have been killing and destroying so far to give it a rest, wear clean clothes without bloodshed and walk peacefully with their brothers, universal brotherhood, and do nothing. So, what the poet wants here is that those people who are being actively involved in wars, they should stop from there, come back, join the human race, join the other part or other section of the society as a common person wearing nice clothes, and the clothes which are not having the bloodsheds, which are not having the droplets of blood on their clothes. So, without that impact of war, they should also come and live a life of a common man, and finally, they should also understand the significance of a peaceful life which a person, a human being wants to live. Okay, let us move to the next stanza here from line 21 to line 24. See here, poet does not wish to advocate total inactivity. Now, here he is trying to justify that up till now he was been advocating that we should stop our activities. Now, what he is saying that inactivity which he has been advocating is not about the death, or he is not talking about it should not be misunderstood. He should not be misunderstood that this inactivity is to be associated with death. It should not. He is talking about continuing with life along with peace. So, what he is saying here is poet does not wish to advocate total inactivity or silence, which may be misunderstood as the poet's association with death. Life continues to remain what makes of it. It is not death that poet wants, but productivity through introspection. What poet actually wants is that the life should continue in a peaceful manner with introspection, with self actualization, with self analysis, that what exactly is those activities which are going to benefit the human race, which is going to benefit the environment here. The poet does not want the readers to confuse with tranquility, this tranquility with total inactivity. Total inactivity will lead to death. So, he does not say, he is not saying that the tranquility or the peace or the state of inactivity which he is been up till now been advocating is not exactly to be the total inactivity which is going to imply the cessation of life, which is another name for death. He does not mean that. According to poet, one needs to spend few moments in silence. What exactly he wants? That one needs to spend some moments, some peaceful time where he is silent, he is just sitting there looking into his thought process, going back, just trying to self analyze that what he wants, taking a break from the crazy hectic schedule and discover oneself. That is what he wants. Okay. Let us move further here from line 25 to line 31. Our desires to achieve goals become single minded and desperate that we lose all perspective. So, basically what the human being is running behind, with a single minded focus, he is just running behind, moving day and night with his busy schedule, and he has lost all rest of the perspectives which are having a significance in his life. So, he has lost all those perspectives because he has been so deeply engraved in that run which he is been making, that rush which he is been making for his personal and individual growth. The poet says, silence for a while might elevate sadness in our lives. So, this may happen that you may experience a feeling of sadness in your life when you are experiencing that silence. Quite productive in the place of all activities is desirable. So, quiet productivity is what is required by the poet to be experienced here. That is the most desirable thing, quiet productivity. That means productivity even when we are quiet. End of all activities does not mean death, but just a break from the monotony of stressful life. So, he is saying that you take a pause, take a break from your stressful life, just self actualize yourself, analyze your life, analyze the impact of various human activities, and that is what he wants. He is not saying to be completely inactive, which is synonymous to death. So, that is what exactly he is saying here. The poet says, the human beings have spent quite a long time wasting their lives on meaningless activities. We are indulged in lots of materialistic progress, and we are being very busy with achieving those targets in our lives, and those are the meaningless activities. So, now he wants them to stop being selfish and should let this moment of silence interrupt their fast moving useless lives. So, whatever is your life or busy schedule is, take a pause from there, experience that silence, and just he want to interrupt your busy schedule at that very moment. He states that humans are threatening themselves with death by not understanding themselves. Lack of self-understanding, self-analysis is basically that is moving, that is actually leading towards the state there where humans are being threatening themselves. They are being into a fearful impact that death is going to take their lives, and they are going to finally they are misunderstanding themselves. So, that is what exactly here he wants to say. Now, let us move to the last few lines from line 32 to line 36 of the poem. The poet in the last lines feels that we can learn a lesson from earth. Now, he is taking another metaphoric this is an extended metaphor here which is being used by the poet, and he is trying to make us to learn that how she look towards earth, how it is actually being productive even though it is calm, quiet, restful, and it is silent. It can teach us how silence is productive. It appears calm, quiet, but is actually nurturing life. So, how life is growing, how it is flourishing even though the earth is being inactive. Very silently, very calm, in a calm manner, peacefully, it is just in a silent manner, it is just nurturing and letting the life to grow and bloom and nourished on its surface. Things may die, but are reborn. So, there are a lot of things which seems to be like they are being died, they do not have life, they are lifeless. It seems like that, but actually there is a life hidden in those lifeless seeds. The cycle goes on because the earth brings forth new life. So, those lifeless things which are lying on the earth are basically bringing the new forms of life on the earth. The poet appeals to all human beings to make an effort to keep inactive, quiet for some time in order to generate new life. So, what he wants here? We wants to take us to take a message from the earth, learn it from the earth, that see how it is regenerating the new life even though it is calm and quiet, and to make an effort to keep inactive and quiet for some time. So, inactivity and that quietness and that stillness is not going to impact your productivity. You can still be productive as the earth is being productive, though it is very calm and quiet and still and nourishing and nurturing the lives. So, in the same manner, we also have to just follow the ways in which the earth is doing it so. So, this is how the poem was being. Now, we have few more interpretations here. The poet wants us to learn from earth to remain calm and yet achieving a greater purpose of life. In here, earth has a metaphorical implication that it remains silent and calm, but nourishes many lives on it. So, as we were talking that it is a metaphor for us to understand the life is being the life nurtured by the earth is being compared to the silent phase of productivity of the people who had undertaken this stillness and quietness. Take the example of seed lying on earth where it seems to be dead, but has in its store a huge tree. So, as we can see, any seed which is just lying lifelessly on the surface of the earth has a hidden huge big tree in itself. When it gets nourishment, when it is been nurtured by the earth, it grows into a huge big tree, giving life to the environment, to the other forms of the life also. Nature teaches us valuable lessons by remaining dormant in winter and springing back to life in spring season. This is another metaphorical aspect to be understood here, that in winters is a symbol of lifelessness, where it is very difficult to survive. Okay. Whereas spring season is a symbol for bringing back the new life. Spring season brings back the new life. So, this is what exactly the nature teaches us. A period of stillness can produce positive and constructive energy, and the end result will always be productive. So, what exactly the poet wants to convey here is that if that period of stillness is being practiced, then it can produce very positive and constructive effects in a person's life, and the end result will be always very productive, and finally the impact of that peaceful moment which you have spent in self actualization, in self realization, will actually is going to enhance your productivity in life. So, that is what the poet wants to state here in this poem. Finally, the poet concludes with the opening lines of the poem and takes leave saying, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. That is how he is concluding here. He has initiated the state of inactivity. Now it is the human beings who can carry on with this idea while he makes a quiet exit. So, what exactly he has been, up till now he had been advocating about the state of inactivity. Now, what he is saying is, you follow the way, the goodness of stillness and quietness and this tranquility, and he wants to exit from here. He wants you to follow it, and now he is going to leave from here. He comes across a prophet of peace. So, basically he is a messenger of peace. He has taught you how to experience that peaceful moment. He has preached his sermon and now he must go away. So, after teaching you all these lessons, he is now trying to find out the further advancements towards the rest of the human race, and he wants to convey this message to the next lot also. So, that is how he has decided that he must go away. Okay. Now, let us take up few of the significant poetic devices which the poet has used here in this poem. Now, the very first device is being the alliteration. As we understand, the repetition of consonant sounds. So, alliteration is present in line 10, sudden strangeness. You can refer to line 10 and mark sudden strangeness as the alliteration poetic device is being used. Similarly, in line 18, clean clothes. Here also in this phrase, the alliteration is being used. Okay. Another poetic device which is being used by the poet here effectively is the transferred epithet. In line 11 and 12, the poet has used the figure of speech in which the natural relations of two words in a statement are interchanged. So, basically there is an interchange in the statement which has been very nicely, beautifully been used by the poet to convey his message. See here, line 11 and 12, fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales. There are two statements which are being interchangeably being used. Here cold sea denotes coldness of the fishermen who do not bother about the protection of sea life, and in the moments of inactivity they would not be able to disturb the sea animals. So, this idea is a different idea which is been interchangeably being used here. Okay. Now, let us move to the another poetic device, that is the irony, which is being used by the poet. The incongruity between what might be expected and what actually occurs, that is what is irony. So, look here in line 33 and 34, see the lines, when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, what is being expected? in the line, first line says everything seems to be dead. This is the first line. And the next line brings out the contradiction that it is not dead but alive. So, these are the two contradicting aspects. Here there is the use of irony is being done by the poet. Now, let us move to one more poetic device which has been prominently seen in the poem, that is paradox. Paradox, a statement that seems contradicting and or absurd, but in reality express a possible truth. So, that is what is paradox. Now, here in line 17, victory with no survivors. So, here people who win a war claim to possess victory, but if all are dead, there are no survivors, that means all are dead in the war, there is no one left for enjoying the victory. So, here both the things, both the ideas are very contradicting. So, here there is a paradox which is being used by the poet. So, let us move to the another aspect here, that is the critical analysis of this poem. We are going to have a critical appreciation here. The poem is about keeping quiet, which symbolizes ceasing all activities. Ceasing means stopping, making it to be hold. The poet exhorts the reader to shun all the activities momentarily in order to listen to themselves rather than the engines and the machines. So, what he is advocating here, to take a pause and find out some moments, peaceful and silent moments in your life, away from the engines, away from the sound of machines. This will lead to cessation of all hostilities and human beings can be happy for once. So, once all the human activities are being ceased, finally a state of happiness will be attained by everyone. The inner silence shall encourage introspection and shall benefit human beings immensely. So, that state of happiness which will be attained will actually be benefiting the human race immensely, very highly. Okay. So, silence discussed in the poem is the inactivity during creation as a case of seed turning into a plant or earth remaining apparently inactive in winter months. So, that is what the poet is saying here. He is comparing our state of inactivity with the calmness and quietness and stillness with which the earth is actually nurturing the seeds, the lifeless seeds which are lying there, and making them, nurturing them to become big trees. In order to be creative, we need to maintain silence in which we can hear ourselves and do good to humanity by opposing war. So, basically he is advocating that if we want a peaceful, good and happy human race, we have to come out of those all useless activities like wars, and we have to finally attain that peaceful state which is going to lead to the ultimate happiness in the within the human race. So, that is what exactly the poet has been saying through this poem. We are going to discuss few of the important questions from the board point of view. See, the extract 1 is where the poem starts from line 1 to 6 has been again and again been seen in the board exams, where they are been asking that you can write few of the questions based on extract, first extract line 1 to 6, that what is the significance of number 12 in the lines. What is the significance of number 12 in the above lines? Second question, which two activities does the poet want us to stop? I am repeating the question. Which two activities does the poet want us to stop? Another question from the same extract. What does the poet mean by let's not speak in any language? From this particular line, what does the poet mean? So, I am repeating the question, what does the poet mean by let's not speak in any language? And finally, last question from the referring to the extract, describe the pun in the word arms. Describe the pun in the word arms. Okay. So, these were the few extract based questions which are going to be referred to line 1 to 6. I am going to give you 2-3 more important questions based on here, like question number 3 and 4 from your back exercise are also been very important. One of them is what is the sadness the poet refers to in the poem Keeping Quiet. So, this is also been covered there. And another question, why does one feel a sudden strangeness on counting to 12 and keeping quiet? You can write this question, I am repeating it. Why does one feel a sudden strangeness on counting to 12 and keeping quiet? Okay, there is one more question which I found to be used, which has been reoccurring again and again in the board exam. How can suspension of activities help? I am repeating the question. How can suspension of activities help? You can find these answers from the various explanations of these lines which we have taken up in our video here. You can refer to the explanation of the lines of the stanzas, and hopefully you will be finding these answers from that explanation. Still, if you find anything where you come across with doubts, you can raise your doubts in the live doubt session. Hopefully, you must be taking good care of yourself. So, I would suggest stay home and stay safe. Thank you, students.